Venerable sisters and brothers, Dhamma friends, we are in 216th retreat from the Nissarana point of view, and this will be in English medium, and today is this session is the first session of question and answers. So I will give a briefing to start with, so that everyone come into the line with. We are by now, each and every yogi, including the venerables, would have given 3 treatments or 3 conditions, facilities for the lay people administering of precepts. So we are come to the equal ground of 8 precepts. So we are talking to always to the precept holders. That is the one base. Second thing is, we have given the basic instructions for how to be mindful in walking, how to be mindful in sitting, and how to be mindful in day-to-day activities. That's the second. The third one is the compendium of rules for the retreat. This is the sitting time, this is the walking time, this is the meals, this is the toilet, this is the other these things, and where you should conduct, so that everyone will be at peace. So familiarization program or orientation also would have happened. So I am talking with the impression that all the 3 are complete now. So if anyone is having entertaining doubt regarding precepts, any doubts or clarity necessary for how to be mindful in sitting, walking and day to day, or the rules and regulations pertaining to the retreat, if you have any doubt, please put into a paper and put into question box, or you can raise it to the audience. That is to not to talk each other, but if you have any doubts pertaining to these 3, please. Of course, Anuma will answer these things as the organizer, but better to ask from here so that everything will be nicely rectified. And in addition to that, we are taking time for interviews, common interviews. When you are practicing according to the instructions, what are the things you have to report, what are the questions you have, what are the points you have to clarify. This is another purpose, that is the main purpose. We call common interviews. In addition to these 2, there is yet another one I would like to introduce. That means tonight or today evening onward, we are meeting again with Dhamma talk. So after the talk, if you have any doubts pertaining to that particular talk, if you need any clarification pertaining to that particular talk, tomorrow onward you can raise that. And with that remark, I would say, besides these topics, I am not going to talk. But which is not relevant, maybe relevant to the other people, other places, I will make sure I am not taking that kind of question. If the Lakshmi also will screen them to have the consistency, otherwise we will be getting entangled with unwanted things, and it may be disturbing our simplicity in the retreat and the discussion. So, 2 points. One thing is regarding these, don't talk to another co-meditator, instead put a question into the question paper. Either you write, put into the question paper, or you raise the question to the mic. Second thing, issues and questions pertaining to the, not pertaining to our retreat, we are not going to consider. We consider the wastage of time. So these are the thing I would like to mention to start the question and answer session. And each and everyone get 2 ways to join. One thing is you can write the question earlier and put into the question box. Second thing is, if you wish to present any idea or topic, you may raise your hand so we can make use the available mic to talk it to the audience itself. Is it clear now? Shall we? Okay, we'll invite Lakshmi to present already written questions, please.
Thank you, Venerable Sir. We have 2 written questions for today, the first day, and they are both reports on meditation practice. Most respected Bhante, I'd like to report what I experienced several times in sitting lately. Primary object is rising and falling. I feel it very subtle, or at least a general sense of breathing happening.
General sense of?
Breathing. I am aware of noises. Most prominent are wobbling in the head, later in the whole body, vibrations also. I focus on this, with thinking coming and going also. Rather harmless and unimportant in content. When I lose focus or restlessness comes, I can go to the breath for a while. The vibrations wobbling. I find rather neutral, even boring with time. Often I have the choice between observing this with a fair distance or going into thin slicing. If I observe the sitting is rather calm. If I go into thin slices, I provoke tension which leads to a kind of explosion like hitting a wall. This ends the process of thin slicing and then I start a new round. Question. I do have the impression that thin slicing is altogether leading further or onward, but as it also means provoking tension, I am not sure if it is right or if it is motivated by a need or a wish to experience excitement, action, tension, sensationalism. Please comment and advise. Thank you. Theruvan Saranai.
So if I got the question properly, earlier mentioned about the subtle breath, wobbling, vibrations, thinking, all kind of, they are all exactly the same. They are different names. Whenever you are not labeling them, whenever you are not recognizing them separately, meditation is automatically continuing. If you are going to think, this is breath, this is wobbling, this is vibration, this is this and that naming is the question. Don't name. Just look at it. They take different shapes. Feel like the vibration is different from the breath, or wobbling is different from the vibration, but they are just camouflage. Everything is the same. Whenever you are going to name them, you get hooked up. And besides that, if you wish to see it in the thin slicing of time, that means your analytical power, that also another unwanted involvement, but sometimes it feel like hobby. So whenever you feel like hobby, it is coming, do it, but it is not a must. It is not a regimentation. It is not a vehement doing. Do it as a hobby, whenever necessary. So whatever may be, our mind, or rather consciousness, try to get entangled with this in two ways. One thing is by labeling, you get hooked up. Other thing is try to see more by thin slicing of time in an unmature time, immature time, then again another problem. So when the time mature, you feel like, then there is no tension, you can keep on. But you must understand what is the best time to go in deep. In other words, go in thin slicing of time. Do it as a hobby. Don't make it a regimentation. Don't make it as a task force. So that is how you facilitate meditation, so that let the mindfulness to run. Don't fork your finger. Don't try to do any manipulation. Each and everything is the consciousness is going to get the upper hand. Then onward you become slave, full of tension, full of frustration, and such a beautiful thing, you mess up. So you must know the art of not to mess up. Just let things happen. But if you feel like messing up and do it like hobby, not a task. So it is the most important thing when the meditation is smoothly running, not to interfere. But vigilantly, diligently you observe everything, or you monitor wholeheartedly. With the restrainment, I will never get involved physically, verbally or mentally. Even then the mind can jump into and get hooked up and get committed. You can understand that is the type of mind. Our mind is always asking a friction, always asking a problem, always asking a label, always asking a tension, always asking a frustration. So you are the one fertilizing it, you are the one feeding it, no second person. You can't attribute to anyone except your foolishness, except to your idiotness, except to your desire. So therefore you can measure how much I am an idiot. When the situation happens, I fork my fingers and I say, burning, 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 burning. You don't fork fingers into the fire. But I can't give this advice to the beginner. I can't give this advice to the person who knows how to handle it. But there is no other way except trial and error method. Whenever you do it and make it as a precursor, or rehearsal. This is the way our mind is making problems. When the things are very smooth, we try to fork fingers and try to measure, label, and try to perceive differently, then you get committed. So therefore, whenever it happens, do nothing. But if you feel like thin slicing, do it when the time mature. When it appears like a hobby but no task force. So this is little bit too much to start with the retreat. This is not the beginner's question. They are fairly practice meditators questions. But anyway, transitional period, you are learning how not to do something. You may come here.
Venerable Bhante, when this, sometimes I have the impression that this thin slicing starts on its own without me deciding to do it, and then that I can decide whether I go with it or I can kind of stop it. So when it happens on its own, shall I just go with it?
It is also part and parcel of this wobbling. It's also part and parcel of this vibration. It's also part and parcel of this subtle breath. Let it happen.
Okay.
Don't do it. Anything you do is disturbing the smooth flow, the equilibrium. So that is what the ego was doing throughout our samsara. It is always forking fingers to the unwanted area. It is not your jurisdiction. But we self-appoint, we become vested interest, we try to do something. So then it is in repercussion, in return, it disturbs us. So you must learn just being.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The second written question. Report on walking meditation. I was practicing this after a long time and was able to focus on the soles of the feet. I feel as if the contrast between skin and texture of choir mat was increasing. Then I noted the skirt brushing against knees as I walk. My focus alternated between soles and knees. There were thoughts happening in between, but they were identified and didn't have the chance to linger long. Sitting meditation. Trying to sit cross-legged in pyramid shape helped to sit still longer without changing positions. It hurt first, but later the pain went away. But I found it difficult to keep focus on breath or on the pain on feet. Sometimes I was able to catch thoughts at the beginning and label as thought and then go back to breath. But most of the time, mind wandered away during sitting session and I can't even recall a single thought. I am very happy to be at this retreat, Venerable Bhante. Can you please advise?
So I will first take the walking issue. Can you see this, the skeleton diagram near the Buddha? So the skeleton diagram indicates when you are walking, it is like a rotating wheel. Your leg is the spoke. Spokes are changing and height from the hip to the top and distance to the heel exactly the same. So hip bone downward, activity happens. Hip bone upward, it is just movement. No physical participation. So the power transmission happens from the heel to the hip bone. So out of that, most touching point is the touch of the ground with the heel. But when you become much familiar with that, then you can see what the contribution of the ankle on the power transmission, what the contribution of the knee in the power transmission, what the contribution of the hip joint in the power transmission. When that is finished, the other leg is getting aligned and it works like another spoke. So spoke is known as ara. In Sinhala we call it araya. So Buddha is asking us, mindfulness is ekaro. pay the attention to the effective spoke. So whatever the power transmission leg, you are with the attention. So there you can see from the heel to the hip bone, the power transmission happens. This is the most efficient machine on the earth. Not a single ever machine make that kind of an alignment. So it is happening after 20 million years, human being learned how to walk with 2 legs. Earlier we are quadruples. We were working with 4-legged. So when you are looking at it, we are always walking with 1 single leg. So it's a miracle. I am 70 kilos weight. 1 leg is handling it and give it to the other leg. And then it let it and give it to this leg. So you are handling 70 kilos, you don't feel. And when you are walking mindfully, you can see what a kind of a circus. 70 kilos handled in 1 single, like not a bicycle, single wheel, the circus thing we have, not 2 cycles, but 1 cycle. And it's a cycle thing. So we don't know when we are walking. We are walking, looking at something, past and future and other, and talking. Therefore, when you are walking, we don't know. But if you pay attention, the Buddha says, what a kind of a synchronize. So, there he mentioned, he or she, from the heel, I can at a time feel the knee. Sometimes some people can feel the hip also, some kind of people, the ankle joint. Sometimes you can see from the heel to the arch, the pressure going to the toes. So this, when you are looking, you can see when the whole wheel is there, but you are aware, your attention is on the touching ground. That's at the tangent. Balance of the wheel, we are utterly ignorance. Even if we say walking each and every step, I am mindful, you are mindful just at the top, but lower bottom, other part where the leg is moving, you don't know. You know only when the power transmission happens. So, this is what the scientists understood very recently. Whenever they are talking about the science, they can only talk about the touching point, they don't know the whole wheel. They say that is pertaining to the dark matter, dark energy that we do not know. Matter is less than 2% of the whole phenomena, just like the wheel, just like the heel. So, starting from that, if you try to give the attention when you are walking, what a kind of a synchronize we have, and how much I must be unmindful not to aware even that synchronizing because of talking, because of the wandering mind, past and future, other places and other people. So we are utterly ignorant. So Ekaro is the name the Buddha given. If you know the particular spoke, particular ara, working while you are walking, is a miraculous thing you to follow. So therefore, we just give a glimpse. We just give a hiatus. We just give a catalytic effect to mind to understand walking is such a wonderful thing and be aware each and every part. And there you can see when the pressure comes to the hip bone, along the spinal cord, it goes to the atlas bone, and upon that only head is turning. So everything is alive. If you are not aware of that, you will hit on a stump and fall down. Therefore, when Jnanaponika says, when you are walking, be aware, that is what you call mindfulness. When you are walking, you are talking, you are not mindful, whatever may be that you are doing. So therefore, one thing at a time, and that done well. So therefore, walking meditation. So, I am very keen about the walking because no other meditation center, no other meditation method, no other meditation teachers I found giving the emphatic value for walking than Venerable Jnanaram. So he lived 96 years. Soon after the lunch, he go to the walking meditation. Early morning, he go to the walking meditation. So nowadays, people go to the 3-wheel park, asking what is the next 3-wheel I can get to the next bus halt. They never walk. and talking about the high blood pressure, talking about the cholesterol, talking about the diabetes, and list of. But they have so much of medicine, so they have no time for walking because they have to take care about the medicines and pills and all the kind of thing. So therefore, as mentioned in the early part of this thing, if you try to feel the heel, the knees and the hip ultimately you will understand the mechanical way, how the power transmission happens. When it's happening, each and every cell in the body becoming serviced. Because this contraction, expansion happen in each and every cell. Each and every organ get exercised. So therefore walking is such a balanced exercise. It gives complete health, physical as well as mental. So continue as much as possible. This bad climate is not promoting, but luckily Nissarana is the biggest indoor walking path we have in the world. There's no other place I have seen such a allocate complete flat for walking. So I recommend outdoor, whenever time permits, walk barefoot, and then you will easily worth calling a yogi. So we have now 3 videos prepared for children, and if the time permits, please look at them and see how easily and directly you can communicate with audio visuals. And if you can get instruction from children, the best you will get. They will instruct you. Last time with the UN Vesak ceremony in Melbourne, we went there and I asked, please bring little children, ask the whole people to understand how to do walking meditation. Children will give demonstration. So after 4 rehearsals, they have done a marvelous job. Buddhists came from 17 countries. Hall is full. And 2 children go to the podium and give the instructions. Children start walking in between the corridor. And after that they come and sit in a nice row, no talking, with guided meditation, asking everyone to participate. And that was the most attractive and picturesque event in the Vesak. Children, they are very happy to do walking meditation, and I would say they will be very happy to teach others. Daily, after each and every Satipasala, I ask, are you happy to teach? Yes, we are happy. They will not talk like me. They will talk only 4 minutes. Exactly 4 minutes, they will teach you. Because even the educationist, Chandana Jayaratna, he came to Kaduwele, he told Bhante, your success is because your meditation program is emphasizing 50% walking meditation. It's practical. We are taking children to the playground. And they are very noisy, very clumsy, jumping up and down and all the kind of thing. But they are happy with Satipasala because of walking meditation. And Nissarana for 50 years, we continue without no question because we are promoting walking meditation. So therefore take time for walking. It's an utterly good sign. We are reaching a frictionless path. You may go to the second part, walking, sitting side. Can you repeat the sitting?
Yes, sir. Sitting meditation. Trying to sit cross-legged in a pyramid shape helped to sit still longer without changing positions. It hurt at first, but later the pain went away. But I found it difficult to keep focus on the breath or on the pain on feet. Sometimes I was able to catch thoughts at the beginning and label as thought, and then go back to breath. But most of the time, the mind wandered away during sitting session, and I can't even recall a single thought. I'm very happy to be at this retreat, Venerable Bhante. Can you please advise me?
I need one clarification if that particular person is happy. So one sentence he is telling, after the thought, I came back to the breath. Can you repeat that sentence? From the thought, I came back to the breath.
Sometimes I was able to catch thoughts at the beginning and label as thoughts, and then go back to breath.
Yes, that is the sentence. So can that person raise the hand and give little detail? Would you mind to come forward? I may hack you, sorry, that is my way, but I will cross-question and then chop into thin slicing. What do you mean that from the thought coming back to the breath?
Trying to focus back on the inhalation and the exhalation after, say, if I think something and I know that, okay, I thought that, so I try to get back onto the focus point. But there were times that, I don't know the times passed, but I know I was not mindful, and I don't recall what I was thinking also.
So you are leading the audience. I am asking one question. So you came back, you accept it. Now the questioning, I start. From a thought, when it comes to the breath, how do you know? How do you verify that it came back to the breath?
From the sensation on the nose.
So that you have to write it. Then only the story is finished. Otherwise, mind will say, I came back to the breath, still maybe in the thought. Because mind is so cheating. Whenever it comes to the breath, you have to have a verification. You have to have a evidence. And I know, you can give when I question, but the day you can write it to the paper, you will be advancing in meditation. Not only bringing back to the breath, not only reinstallation of the mindfulness, to verify it. That verification must be very clear to the audience. But if you just say, I came back, may be true, but you won't get the full marks. So each time when it come back, and then easily you can say, when it goes outside, you can pinpoint when to the thought, when to a pain, when to a sound, each and everything is very clear. And each and everyone is having a verifiable point. How do you say it is a sound? How can say it is a pain? How can say it's a thought? Each and everyone is giving. So, when I used to give, when the young children going to come here for meditation, I taught them, whenever you say mind went out, don't say like that. Went out to what? And then they told one day it went to a sound. How do you know? It was a bird sound one day. And I know I am not in the breath. Okay. Then what happens? Then the mind came back to the breath. How do you know? I will let you know next day. That is the Kamatan Sutta Karna. That is the purpose of interview. And she told, so when it's going out, I know it's a sound because I hear bird sound. And then mind came back to the breath. Because I know in the left nostril, I feel the cool in-breath and out-breath. So the picture is so crispy, so clear. So the day it happens, your meditation 50% finished. Wherever it may be going, don't worry about the good or bad. Don't worry about what it should be and what it should not be. But you are tracing, tracking. Even it go to the wandering mind, the thought, sound, pain, exactly just like in the breath, if you can exactly report.
The question the issue that I face is if it's a sound or a pain or something, I know where it went. But if it's a thought, sometimes I don't know.
That not knowing, I will put it this way. When a sound is there, I know. I am in a sound, not in a thought, not in a pain, not in anapana. When you are in the sound, the pain, you know I am in a pain, not a thought, not a sound, not anapana. But when you are in thought, you don't know. That knowing, that not knowing is the highest in your meditation. Through the comparative to the known, you go to somewhere unknown. Now only you know. But if you know, what you know is unknown. So imagine you are next time going to be aware, open to unknown. I don't know whether I am leading or misleading. Next time you must go to meditation, there's a part black hole, there's a part dark matter. I know, I passed and then I know I don't know. I know, I don't know. That next day if you go prepared for unknown, I dramatically say a female become male. Transvestitis. Transgender. Sorry, I am using these terms, it may be misleading you. So that is the way we have to make meditation so radical. It must be so against the grain. Unknown, I know now. Next day, I go for welcome with unknown. Prepared for unknown. Not a shock, not a mistake, not a regret. Your whole brain circuit going to work. All neurobics going to work, because whenever you are leading to unknown, you are double dose mindfulness. Understand?
Some of it, but I tend to think when I'm not, I don't know where I went also, that I'm not doing good in meditation, or I'm totally out of.
So that means you are regretting. That is a single term, you are regretting. My whole talk is, main thing is not to worry. Now there's an invitation you to be aware of the unknown. That's the path to Nibbana. That's the expansion. That is the radical. Ready? You are not telling yes, you are just saying. Be prepared. During the daytime, how much you are in a dream. We call daydream. Night dream, nothing to talk about. So even if you are here, how much of the time we don't know, we don't know. We do not know. But here we know now, we do not know. So that is the opening. That's the vipassana. That's the radical thing. That's against the grain. So instead of regret, if I can make you too happy to welcome that, so that means it become a blessing in disguise. That's why I wanted to take you up there to hack you in front of others, so that others also can get the idea. Everything happening in meditation, nothing to throw away. Everything is like ice cream cone. So our cussed mind, our idiot mind, try to say this is bad, this is good. No. Later you will understand A to Z, mindfulness is there. That is why we know, we don't know. Rather than knowing anapana, knowing unknown is the exercise we have never done so far. Now we are ready. And you have to next day go prepared and write about, little bit about, or rising part of the unknown, or disappearing part of the unknown, explore into that. Everything known is just make a platform for you to go to unknown. Just like end of the diving board at the swimming pool. You go to the edge and get the bump, somersault, jump. That's unknown. Good.
Venerable Sir, shall we open it up to verbal questions?
Yes, please.
If you have any questions, you can come up to the mic and ask. Or just describe your experience. It doesn't have to be a question. I'm sorry. Venerable Sir, may I ask a clarifying question following what she asked?
You also welcome to ask questions.
Okay. She described that unknown area that she goes into with her thoughts, or she doesn't know, Is that what you mean when you use the word passaddhi? Passaddhi?
No, it cannot be passaddhi, because she is considering it as inferior, considering it as regrettable.
If she didn't?
That means you have to remove the hate out of that, then it becomes passaddhi. This is so simple. So when you remove the hate part out of that, it's utter passaddhi. She feel like a boy.
Is that
you understand? She feel like a boy.
She feels like a
boy.
Boy.
You will not be happy by vocabulary. So I wanted to use something like radical to be aware of the unknown. It's such a hilarious, such a radical thing. Arrogant. No regret. So okay, continue.
Is that what people also refer to as empty space? No.
Once you can once you remove the hatred,
yes,
and you know no end, it's a boundless, no friction, and empty, and utterly hilarious. It's such a blessing, like you get wings like. So whatever the name you can give, only thing is you have hate, you have the regret. So main thing is not to worry, simple as that.
So if you have no regrets, then that's passavi, or the empty space.
Yeah. So whatever may be, that's the beginning of the contentment of the life, the solitude of the life, the pleasure of the life. And we hate it.
It may take a little while, then you stop hating it.
No, very difficult too, because hate means the knowledge. If you have knowledge, knowledge means hate. That will be simple, innocent. That will be simple, straightforward. You say, yes, mind went out, I don't know, I feel regret. Then other person can put the hand and say, hey darling, do it without the regret. That means, go prepared. Consider this as a progress side. So that means your whole value system, your likings and disliking, your personality, your habits, everything will be reshuffled. It is not a joke. It's a kind of a brainwash. So it must be supported with the faith, supported with the mindfulness, supported with the precepts and everything, then only you can put that somersault. Otherwise, if the other variables are not prepared, you will break your neck. So give the condition and jump. Jump, be prepared while walking. What happened to the leg when it is not touching? So it's partly a direct knowledge, majority what you call rational or inferential or deductive. This is kind of a deductive knowledge based on the direct touch. To have that inferential knowledge and deductive knowledge, you must have your theory understanding. You must know your hell of mistakes. Huge lot of mistakes. And the day it happen aligned, the frustration become passaddhi. So it appear like magic, but it's so electric. If it happen, it happens. If it is not happen, it's not. You will be ever regretting, my mind is going out and I don't know where it happens and churu. The day you understand, when I go welcoming that, if I can to hug it without negativity or hatred, it's opening, door opening for liberation. It's called fear of freedom or fear of unknown. Eric Fromm wrote a book. When the people are given the freedom, they are so frightened. They are not happy. So they make a reason again to make it twisted, make it frustrated, make it tension. But they are always asking something to cry, something to complain about.
Is this also what you were all often have said, thoughts without a thinker?
Yeah. So it is called power of thinking without thinking. Gladwell. He wrote the Blink. The book name is Blink. Subtitle says Power of Thinking Without Thinking. And Eric Fromm is the Epstein, Mark Epstein, he says thought without a thinker. And the Buddha has given so much of other names, but it has not been highlighted. It has not been really pinpointed. So therefore we consider this as a garbage, put into the garbage. We put it as a wastage. But that is the point where you can take the recycling and the energy for your life, be prepared for the unknown. That means you are ever rejuvenating. You are not in the old rut.
Thank you, most venerable sir. Thank you.
So you are too late now. You have to be very young.
No, venerable sir. I can grow old and still do.
I will check within the retreat and see under the surveillance.
Much merit to you, venerable sir.
Okay, if there are no questions, we can add these 15 minutes for your walking meditation, and we'll be gonging the bell at 3 o'clock. We'll be meeting again for a sitting meditation. Thank you very much for the participation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.